Hi, my name is Nelson Faria, and I'm here now talking in English for this seminar. I'm sorry for my Brazilian friends and all other languages around. I speak my native language is Portuguese. I'm from Brazil, but I have lived in States for a while, so I can speak some English. I hope everybody can understand. Uh, and the purpose of speaking in English here in the seminar today about Bossa Nova is because I would like to reach some people abroad, people from outside of the country, outside of Brazil, that have interest in Bossa Nova. Of course, all Brazilians and all other language speaking are very welcome. But I decided to do this in English because once I want to reach people outside of Brazil, I realized that Portuguese would be much worse. So I hope you like this seminar. And I will be talking about Bossa Nova, which is this Brazilian style that's very famous and important. Let me see if I'm in tune for listening. Okay. And if you have questions, please use our chat. You can ask as many questions as you want, and I will be answering these questions after the seminar. The seminar will be a short seminar. There is a big amount of information, a good amount of information, I'm sorry, but it's a short seminar. It's not a huge seminar. I have proposed for a bigger workshop. In the end, I will be talking about this, where we can really go deep into the Brazilian style, Brazilian guitar style. So, introducing myself for these people, to people that doesn't know me, my name is Nelson Faria. I'm the author of the books, The Brazilian Guitar Book, and also Inside the Brazilian Rhythm Section, which I wrote with my friend, pianist Cliff Corman. So I will be talking about Bossa Nova, its harmonies and its rhythms, the rhythm patterns we use for Bossa Nova, and where Bossa Nova came from, and how things have developed into this unique way of playing Brazilian music, of playing the Bossa Nova. Okay? So, the first thing about Bossa Nova is that in Brazilian music in general, I think it's important to understand how the subdivision in the Brazilian music works. Because we have, if you are used to play some jazz music, I would like to tell you that the big difference between jazz and Bossa Nova, it's exactly the way you feel the tempo, the way you feel the beats, or what we call subdivisions. In jazz, usually we think in triplets, or what we call the jazz 8 notes, or swing 8 notes. So for each beat, you have 3 subdivisions. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So every accent you do in the melody, or in the groove, or in the comping, will be always in the triplet feel if you're playing jazz. But if you're playing Brazilian music, or if you're playing Bossa Nova, the accents, they will be on the 16 notes. So you have the beat here, and the subdivisions are instead of it's so we have 4 16 notes for each beat in our feeling, the way we feel the music, the Brazilian music. It's always with this subdivision of 16 notes. And what bossa nova is? What bossa nova actually is a rhythmic simplification of the samba groove. So the first thing I would like to show you is how is the samba groove. The samba groove goes. It's a groove that it's made of 3 different layers of rhythms going on at the same time. So you have in this here at side here, right side of me here, you have these 3 layers, and you see that the bottom layer, it's playing just the 1 and the 2. We write Brazilian music in 2/4. The samba and bossa nova we write in 2/4. So you have this 1 2 1 2, and you can see that the 1 is a short pulse, a short note, and the 2 it's a long note and slightly accentuated. So you have this ping boom, short, long, 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. So this is the bottom layer. Then you have the mid layer that is 16 notes all the time. So we have 1 2 1 2 1 2 2. So the 16 notes playing all the time. This is the middle layer. And then you have a top layer that are instruments accenting the syncopations. So you can have like what I wrote there. Or you can have many other different things. Right? So these 3 layers together, they form what we call the samba groove. So the instruments here are usually in this bottom line. It's played with a surdo, which is a big tone, playing the 1 and the 2. Sometimes there are 2 different tones, one smaller and one bigger. So it's like ping, pong, 1 2 1. Or if you're playing in just one surdo, what you do is like usually you mute the 1 and then you play the 2 with the stick. So bum, 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 bum. Only by muting the head of the instrument you get this short 1. Boom, 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 boom. The 16 notes, which are in the mid layer, are played with shakers or with what we call pandeiro. It's like your international tambourine with a skin, playing the 16 notes all the time. And then on the top layer, we find instruments like this tambourine here. This is what we call tambourine. So 1 2 1 2. Right, playing all the syncopations, accents on the syncopations. Let's listen to my friend Rodolfo Cardoso playing all these layers together so you can have an idea what this sounds like. First layer, the top layer, and the bottom layer, and then the mid layer. Okay. So I think you had an idea how it sounds like. So what we just played is just 3 layers. What we just heard is this 3 layers all together. What Bossa Nova did, Bossa Nova sometimes is very criticized by the samba players. They said, wow, Bossa Nova had really simplified the rhythms, and it really did. If you want to get a difference between Bossa Nova and samba, if you want to try to understand what is the difference between samba and Bossa Nova, you see that they are very similar in the patterns and the rhythms and everything, but Bossa Nova have simplified the groove. So Bossa Nova, it's a samba with less syncopations, have really simplified the groove. And Bossa Nova has harmonies which are more interesting, more complex harmonies. So samba usually have lots of syncopations. It's a very complex rhythm, but with simple harmonies. And Bossa Nova did the opposite. It took the samba rhythm and simplified it, and added some jazz harmonies to the music. So Bossa Nova is very influenced by samba, by jazz, and by classical music, actually, also. So what Bossa Nova did? Bossa Nova took this, let's take a look in this here, this top layer on the samba groove, and let's take only the second bar. Check it out what Bossa Nova did. Bossa Nova used only the second bar, So it starts with a very known syncopated figure. It's playing just the 1 and the E, like these 2 16 notes with a 16 note rest in the middle, and in the end it's like 2 8 notes. So you have the pa pa, right? Ta ta. Bossa Nova took all this and reduced it to this ta ta in the second bar. That and then it played in the second half. It played that first that 16 note that appears in the second half. Actually, it is in the second 16 note in the group. So it's like this ta ta ta. Only this ta 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 ta. It does not play the last one, the last 16 note. This is the basic Bossa Nova groove. Pa 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 pa, which is a huge simplification of this pa 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 da pa pa ka, ka. Then becomes only pa, pa, ka, ta, ta, ta. And this was João Gilberto's idea. João Gilberto, as the main guitar player and the main interpreter in the bossa nova, and Jobim as the main composer, they both together, they really did the outline of what bossa nova is. And then we have other composers and other musicians that are amazing, like Roberto Menescal, you should check it out. Like Carlos Lira, you should check it out. Like Mauricio Einhorn, you should check it out. And there are many bossa nova artists that you should check it out. I will be talking more about Jobim and João Gilberto, because João Gilberto really, he's the main guy, the musician that had simplified this samba groove into only this pa, pa, ka, ta, 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 which is the second bar, the top layer in the second bar, and then the other layers still the same. Ping, boom, ping, dum, tiki, 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 ta, ta, ka, pa, 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 pa. Sometimes we can also have syncopations, but I will talk about this just in a minute. First, I would like for you to check it out on this here, this pa, 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 and what this will become. So we have Jobim and João Gilberto, very important guys in the bossa nova. And then we have this basic groove. This basic groove is it's that simplified samba. Ta, ta, ka, pa, pa, ta. It's exactly that second bar. And here on guitar, what we do, we play this third layer using our thumb, right? And we use fingers 1, 2, and 3 to play the top layer. And usually we don't play the mid layer. I do. Sometimes I play. I will show you later. But if you play only the top layer and the bottom layer, you will already have some. See, I'm playing 1, 2, 1, 2, and then here fingers 1, 2, and 3 doing. And one important thing is this chord here, that I play the D7 here with the A on the bass. When I have the bass on my 6th string, I cannot change the bass. I will play the same note. Yeah, and I will try just to play a little bit stronger the second beat. But if I have my bass on the 5th string, and then to make this more evident, the accent on the second beat, then I will put the 5th lower than the root, like this. But if I have my root or my bass on the 6th string, I cannot do this. So this is what we call the basic pattern for bossa nova, and this is how João Gilberto have simplified the samba groove to only this. Listen now to João Gilberto playing How Insensitive. he plays this figure, this pattern, pam 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 pam, for the whole song, all through the song. Check it out.
Insensatez que você fez, coração, mas sem cuidado, fez chorar de dor o seu amor, um amor tão delicado. Porque você foi fraco assim, assim tão desamado. Meu coração, quem nunca amou não merece ser amado.
Even the ring shot in the drum is playing like this, pa 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 pa. Very simplified, but very nice. And this was very important to bring the Brazilian music abroad, to bring the Brazilian music to outside of Brazil. Bossa Nova was really was really responsible to bring the Brazilian music abroad. So many people know about Brazilian music because of Bossa Nova. So we are very thankful for this Bossa Nova guys: Jobim, João Gilberto, Roberto Menescal, Carlos Lira, etc., etc. These guys they opened the door of the Brazilian music to all around. Just reminding you that you can keep posting your questions or commentaries on the or in comments, and in the end I will be answering and I will be reading your comments and talking about them. Okay. So continue on. So this so you understand that the second bar of this 3 levels of rhythms, or 3 layers. So the second bar of the top layer, it's what João Gilberto took to make this bossa nova groove. Ta ta ta. And not even using the last syncopated note. Ta 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 ta. Right? So this is it's the power of the synthesis, how it can simplify something and keep the strong part of something and make a new thing from that. Another thing João Gilberto did, and then everyone that plays bossa nova did, and also what you can do, it's using also the last 16 note, but then you make like a repeat on the last bar, on the second bar in this groove, samba groove there, just the second bar, make a repeat there, but you tie the last 16 note to the first, so you have like this one. I can start even on the syncopated note on the last 16. So 1, 2, pa 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 pa. So instead of doing this, 1, 2, 1, 2, I do 1, 2, slowly. One, two, one, two. One. Sorry, now I did no syncopation. Here, syncopations. What you will see is that when we are playing bossa nova, we have many patterns. There are many different patterns, samba and bossa nova. But usually we don't stick in one pattern, as João Gilberto did in How Insensitive, that he played that. For the whole song. Usually what we do is we improvise with these different patterns. So if you take only this straight pattern and the syncopated one, when we play also the last 16, they are syncopated to the bar. If we only use these two, it will be already interesting. So sometimes you listen this here, people playing like this. See, I did. I started syncopated. Syncopated, but I can mix syncopated and non-syncopated, like. And usually, if you play a 2-bar phrase, the first bar is syncopated, and the second one then is on the beat. So you have. It's interesting because the melodies go like this. The melodies go syncopated, non-syncopated. Syncopated first bar, non-syncopated second bar. Sometimes it's syncopated. It's all the bars are syncopated, but it happens a lot that have the first bar syncopated and then the second bar non-syncopated. So let's take a look in these two things. So the first line there, the first what I call the bossa nova basic pattern, it's this 8 notes and then a syncopated. There's pam pam can ping ping pam ping ping pam. Or you can do pam pam tum pam can, adding this syncopation there. You can practice this, right? I would like to tell one thing, a very important thing. This music that I'm showing here on screen, you can download. You can download. There's a link in the description of this video that you can download the PDF file for this lesson. Okay, and then you have this material to work later on. So we have these two patterns, basic pattern and the variation 1, which I call variation 1, which is the basic pattern plus the syncopation, right? So we can practice. I will practice first in just one chord, right? We can practice together. It's blinking here. It's any problem? No? I see a member from the group here, and I don't know if it's any problem. I think it's going okay. So let's go. Take your chance now. Take the time to download click the link in the description and download this PDF for you. Okay. So practicing in a C6/9 chord. Right. I will practice first the basic pattern. You can come and play with me. Take your guitar there. Let's play. 1, 2, 1 and 2 and. Notice that I'm playing the fifth on the bass here, even if it's not written. I'm just trying to simulate the third layer, the bottom layer in the summer groove. Right? Let me just see something. Okay, I will turn a little bit down here. It's saturating my audio. Okay. See, this is the basic pattern. Let me see some configuration in my audio here, if it's okay for you guys. A little bit down here. Okay. Okay. So I'm putting, let's see. Let me see if it's okay like this, or if I put it down like this. How is the sound there? Let me know if it's saturating. It's too much. Okay, it's good like this now. Please help me here. If you can listen clearly, and if it's all right. Sound is okay. Thank you very much. All right. So now you have this basic pattern. Variation. See, the variation is the basic pattern plus syncopated. See, syncopated note here in the end. So check that when you're playing the syncopated pattern, your fingers 1, 2, and 3 and thumb, they never get together. Never. It's like this. One, two, one, two, one, two, one, two. I'm here playing variation 1. And if you take the bossa nova basic pattern, and then the first beat is together, thumb and fingers, and then it's separated like this. 1, 2. Sometimes what we do is we start the very first bar in the bossa nova basic pattern, and then we go to the variation and stay there like this. We start like 1, 2, and then or only the first bar, and then it's always syncopated, right? So I would like you, before we go to practice, I would like you to listen to João Gilberto playing Chega de Saudade, which was from the album Chega de Saudade, which is the first bossa nova record. And listen how he's changing between these two patterns, the basic pattern and the variation 1. Listen closely to the guitar. you will see that he's varying, sometimes playing the basic pattern, sometimes the syncopated pattern, as I told you it happened. Let's see. This record is from 1958, and you will see clearly the guitar playing non-syncopated and syncopated, or or syncopated and then non-syncopated pattern, and going from these two only.
Vai minha tristeza.
I would like to play this again for you so you can understand. He started playing. He started playing like the bossa nova basic pattern, and then when he started the song, he started syncopating the first bar and non-syncopating the second bar. He did. Listen to this. It's beautiful.
Vai minha tristeza e diz a ela que sem ela não pode ser. Diz-lhe numa prece que ela regressa.
In the beginning, he was playing the intro exactly like this. He played like 2 bars, only the basic pattern, and then he did syncopated, non-syncopated. So syncopated, no, syncopated. That's great. Check it out. And then so when you have 2 bars phrasing, it's good that you syncopate the first one and play the second one on the beat. Check him out. So now the first 2 bars, now he's playing on the beat, and then he starts to do this syncopated on the beat, syncopated on the beat.
Vai minha tristeza e diz a ela que sem ela não pode ser. Diz-lhe numa prece que ela regresse, porque eu não posso mais sofrer. Chega de saudade, a realidade é que sem ela
Always like
não
this.
há paz.
Okay, I'll stop now, otherwise I will be striked in my channel here. Anyway, you see that this let me put this music here. So first, bossa nova basic pattern, variation 1, basic pattern, then variation, right? This is very important to understand. This is very important to understand that the first measure is syncopated and the second one it's usually on the beat. I will show you something that is very important to understand this. There is a pattern for samba that became very famous uh, all over, and this pattern is exactly the opposite of what samba and bossa nova is. Even the bossa nova has this simplified rhythm playing the second bar, right? But when you have two bars, two bar measures, this first bar has to be syncopated. So it's 1, 2, pa. So see, the first bar is syncopated and the second one is on the beat. 1, 2, pa, 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 gat, pom, 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 gat, 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 pom, 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 gat, pom, pom, pom. First, second, first, second. But there is a pattern, an inverted pattern from this that became very famous. So many people play the opposite. Play 1, 2, pa 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 pa. This is exactly the opposite of what samba and bossa nova is, or are, I think. Sorry about my English. I'm trying my best here. And all the melodies, they go like this. 1, 2, pa di pa di te di pom pe di pom pom pe do pe do di do pa do pa sta di pa do pa pa di pa di pom. See, the syncopation is always in the first measure, and and playing on the beat is always in the second measure. But this here, if you play the opposites, if you play, you'll be against the melody all the time. And I know where this comes from, because sometimes we can use this as in an arrangement just for 8 bars or 16 bars, just to make the reverse pattern for a short period in an intro, anything. And there's a very famous Brazilian song that plays pa 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 di da pa 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 da. Right? In the intro, it's doing exactly the reverse. But then when it starts the song pa bang, pa da da di do da pa pa, and then it's the right way of playing. So it's very important to understand this, right? The first measure, if you have a 2 measure phrase, the first measure must be syncopated, and the second measure can be syncopated or not. Usually it's on the beat. And another thing that's important, and this I showed you in this example, João Gilberto playing Chega de Saudade, he's doing this all the time. And another important thing is when you play the syncopated pattern, if I play this variation 1, I will use these chords here, chord suggestion for practice. I will play it first with the bossa nova basic pattern and then with the variation. Check it out. Sorry, 1 and 2 and. Right? Basic pattern, no syncopation. Now, when I play the variation and I use the syncopation, one important, very, very extremely important thing is to syncopate the chord. So in the last 16 note, you should play already the next chord in the next bar. So it's like this. bass. Right? I hear many people doing a very strange thing that is like this. I don't know if I can do. Uh, or playing the syncopated note, playing the same chord that is in the bar. So if you do this, you kill the syncopation. You don't do the syncopation, right? And I listen this a lot. Many people doing this progression with the syncopation pattern, the syncopated pattern, but playing the chord in the same bar like C, and then he played the C again, ding, 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 and then becomes like dun, dun. Wrong. I'm sorry, this is wrong. Because if you want to do a syncopation, you have to. What is a syncopation? Syncopation is when you anticipate or you put in, you take the chord or the accent out from the straight beat, right? So if I'm playing a syncopated 16 note, I must play the next chord, like instead of doing bum, bum, ding, ding, here, in this last here, I have already to change the chord. So it's like, this is the right way. This is extremely important. I see this misunderstanding a lot. See, and the bass, I'm trying to do this like, if the bass is on the 6th string, I keep the same bass. If the bass is the 5th string, then I play 1, 2, playing the 5th, because the 5th should be below. Another thing I see that doesn't make sense, it's when you put doesn't make sense, because this is weaker than this, and the second note should be stronger, not no. If you see the instruments that play this, the surdo, the tone that plays the second beat is a huge one, much more lower than the first. The first is small, so it's pi, bom, pi, bom, pi, not pi, 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 pi. No, this pi, no, should be. And the chord changing on the syncopated 16 note. Right? So you can practice on these chords, suggested chords. You can make, of course, other harmonies. Okay? There's another pattern that we use in Bossa Nova, and I'm not going very far from this. It's when you syncopate all the beats, all the 8 notes in the bar. So if you have a bar with 8 notes like this, ta pa 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 pa. If you syncopate by a 16 note every 8 note, you have this 1, 2, pa 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 pa, instead of ta 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 ta, right? So this is the variation 2 in Bossa Nova. When you play all the notes in the bar, you play syncopated, right? So we can play these 2 chords and do like this. the chord changes always before the bass. Because the bass is on the beat. The bass is right? And the chords are syncopated, so the chords should play before the bass. You can take any progression. You can take like right? Every time syncopated. Once again, I would like to show you João Gilberto playing this pattern. It's very interesting. Always him. Very nice guy. Yeah, so this pattern here, right? Is that one that is written there in our PDF that you can download just clicking the link below in the description of this video. So change, and he's doing exactly this. Listen to that.
O samba da minha terra deixa a gente bom.
Then he changed.
Quando você canta todo mundo bom. O samba da minha terra deixa a gente bom. Quando você canta todo mundo bom. Quando você canta todo mundo bom. Quem não gosta de samba, um sujeito não é. É ruim da cabeça, ou doente.
Now the bass pattern.
Eu nasci com o samba, no samba me criei. O danado do samba, nunca me separei. O samba da minha terra deixa a gente bom.
Okay.
Quando se canta todo mundo bom.
I would like to show you just a little bit more, talking about syncopations. Sometimes we even play syncopated 8 notes. Example. And Jobim has a song, it's called One Note Samba, that he does. There's a very interesting video where Gary Mulligan, or Jerry Mulligan, I don't know how do you say that, it's in the room with Jobim playing One Note Samba, and then he's having a hard time to play this 8-note syncopation. I will go directly there. Here.
There's so many people who can talk and talk and talk and just say no. And want you to know. I had people feel I know that they never come to know. And want you to know. So I come back to my first note, as I must come back to you. I will pour into that one note all the love I feel for you. Anyone who wants the whole show, any paso antidote, he will find himself with no show better play the note you know. Good, Gary. I almost made the last phrase and everything. It's very good. It's very difficult phrasing that last thing. Yes, I know. Play it. For me, it's very difficult to phrase jazz too. Thank you very much for saying that. No, it's true. If I hear the rhythm section, because the rhythm section is playing all eight notes. Yes, all eight notes. Yes. You mean the rhythm section? Yes. I do that phrase backwards because wait, da da da. Here. This. Good, Jerry. Perfect. You did it. I did it. I got it.
Great. So this is wait. So this was the syncopated there. Right? So the 8-note syncopation instead of the 16-note syncopation. See the way Gary Mulligan was saying there. Oh, keep the rhythm section, keep playing the 8 notes, but actually, what we feel are not 8 notes, are 16 notes. Right? So now, before I answer your questions, we are here for 1 hour already. There are some more things here, but I think now we are getting out of time here. But anyway, I will answer your questions. But before answering any question, I would like to make you an invitation, right? I will be doing a Brazilian guitar workshop the day after tomorrow, on this Thursday, the May 18th, on 3 p.m. Brazilian time. And in this workshop will be a 2-hour workshop where I'll be going much more deeply into the Brazilian music and bossa nova and samba, and showing more patterns and more variations, and also teaching and showing a chord melody version of a Brazilian song. Corcovado will be playing with backing tracks. I will showing you how to play these chord melodies, and if you want, and I will show you how to comp a song like this, where to syncopate, where not to syncopate, and how to play chord melody and it will be a much more dense PDF material that you get, and also I will give you backing track to practice your guitar playing, comping, and chord melody, and also loops for you to practice with a drum loop or percussion loop. Because actually, what we do in Brazil, it's that we simulate what's happening on the percussion instruments. We simulate this on our instrument, on the guitar. So on this Brazilian guitar workshop, I will be basically talking about samba and bossa nova. There are many other styles in Brazil, like baião, choro, frevo, ijexá, maracatu, etc., etc. The South rhythms, but I will be mostly talking about samba and bossa nova in this workshop. And you download our PDF, and there's a link for you to access the then you can sign up for the workshop. Also, you can sign up by going by putting your camera in front of this QR code, and then you go directly to the page for the workshop. Workshop will be on May 18th, and I'm putting the link here on the chat if you want. Yes, and but you also can do this. You can check. You can use your camera to this QR code, and you will be directly to this guitar workshop page. The workshop will be on Zoom, so we'll be seeing each other. And when you ask me questions, I can directly answer your question. I can answer the question directly there on the Zoom. You ask and I answer. I'm talking to you and reading this. Aline Kelly wants to attend the workshop. Great, Aline. Will be held in English, but I'm sure it's no problem for you. You have been in States working many times, so playing. So just, I guess there is a link also for the workshop in our description. So if not, there's here. And the workshop will be the day after tomorrow, the May 18th. And will be not available on YouTube or anything. It will be a workshop, a much deeply workshop with lots of great stuff. I will answer, some questions here. Jigs Hidalgo is asking, in Bossa Nova, it's okay to play the surdo on root and fifth, or do we omit the fifth? The surdo it's a percussion instrument, and you don't need to tune the surdo. If it's this that you were asking, you don't need to tune up the surdo to the fifth, the root and fifth. But on the guitar or on the bass, yes, you play root and fifth, and the fifth should be below the root. Okay, this is the most used way to play this third layer and this bottom layer. And also, sometimes if it's a slow bossa nova, then you should play the same note, bang, bang, bang. Because if you do the bang, it sounds a little bit like a samba. So if you want to be really bossa nova in a slow, nice bossa, then keep the same note. But if it's a medium bossa, then you should play bing, going down fifth and coming back. Okay, going down to the fifth, which is going down fourth, actually. Okay. Taiko is saying, I'm a bass player. Should I follow the traditional bass lines? Yes. But of course, music it's open to other things, so you can try out other things. But what I would like to say is that once you understand the basics, then you can improvise, then you can be free. But first, understand the basics, like this pattern that I see many people playing the wrong way, playing like pa 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 pa. 1, 2, paint, 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 boom, 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 paint, paint, paint. This is the reverse pattern. The pattern, the bossa nova pattern or the samba pattern, it's exactly the opposite. It's 1, 2, back, 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 back. But the bossa nova, it's a simplification of this, as I said. So it's just the second bar, and once the second bar is on the beat, you have this pum, 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 and sometimes you have this rim shot doing 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. Also, it's a can be on clave. We don't use clave, but could be. Okay. Jigs Hidalgo is also saying, currently studying your Brazilian guitar book. Nelson, it helps a lot, even my drumming. Okay, so he's the drummer. That's why your question about the surdo, you don't need to tune the two surdos in 1/5. If you actually, when you're playing the drums, you can only play the second beat. You know, you play like you, or you can play snare, or you can play cymbals, or the how do you call it? I don't remember the name. Right? So you can do this. And Leonardo is saying you really should keep giving this lesson in English. All right, thank you. I will try my best. Sometimes when we are a long time away from speaking English. I worked in Sweden for 8 years. I was a professor at the Örebro University, and there I was teaching always in English. So my English was pretty fluent by then. But then, more than 5 years passed by, then I'm not there. So my English is kind of going away. But, well, I can make an effort. The seminar, or not the seminar, but Brazilian workshop that will be this May 18th will be held in English, okay? PDF material, how to play Brazilian syncopate rhythms and patterns for samba and bossa nova, how to comp Brazilian music, how to play chord melody versions, included PDF material, MP3 percussion loops for their studies, for further studies, also backing tracks with bass, drum, so you can just add your guitar. All right, so I'm looking forward to see you there. Any more questions? I see people from all over. Someone is saying Rosa Passos always playing the fifths, rarely the roof. Yeah, the roof. Yes. Actually, there's this chord here in Corcovado. This is a D7 with the A on the bass. And usually we write A minor 6, which is the same chord. But this is a 2-5-1. 2-5-1. D, G. That's like. And then it's a 2-5 for the fourth. Right? Sometimes, of course, it plays the root here, like F major, or maybe he can play here with the fifth and the root, right? Let me see other things. Rain Fisk, he's asking, is the guitar book in English? Yes, the first version published, it was in English already, the Brazilian guitar book. But then I had an Italian version of this book, and Brazilian and Portuguese version of this book, and also a Russian and a Japanese version of the book. So I have this book in 5 languages. It's all over. You can have it in English, in Portuguese, in Italian, in Japanese, and in English. I have it here in, let me check. Wait. Let's see if I find. Let's see. This here is the Japanese version, right? It's music inside, but all the text, if you can see the text, I don't know. All the text are in Japanese. Can you see that? Yeah. Let's see if there's more text somewhere here. Here. See? This is a Japanese version of Brazilian guitar book. This is the Brazilian version. In the English version, it looks like this one with the same kind of cover, but it's the Brazilian guitar book. It's written in English, and the whole book is in English. Anyway, there's an Italian version also. Let me ask other questions. There's a question here. Do you think you have to be Brazilian to play bossa nova authentically? Not at all. Actually, there are some Brazilians that don't play it authentically. You know, this misunderstanding that I show you here, this mistake on the syncopation, instead of doing syncopated chords, syncopated, and then the bass, syncopated, and then the bass, they play like. I see even Brazilians doing like this. Of course, Brazilians more beginners that didn't stop to listen to the music. If you listen to all the bossa nova players, how they play like this. They play the syncopation where the syncopation should be. So, but you can do it being from anywhere. Just learn the language. Yes, Jessica, we have a book in Italian. Italiano. Temos un libro italiano. Io non parlo italiano, però there is an Italian version. Let me see if I have it here. Probably. I don't know. Well, okay, the Italian version. Italian. Il libro di chitarra brasiliana. Okay? It comes with a CD, so this is all in Italian here. Okay? Let me see the text in Italian here. Big text. Nota di autore. Say, I don't know. See, this is Italian. So, if you are in Italy, check it out. Okay? But, yeah, Aline is saying, wow, que chique. I didn't know there were so many translations there. In Japanese, Italian, Portuguese. But the first version was in English. And it took a long time to have a Brazilian version of the book. That's very strange. But now we have. That's the important thing. So, once again, I would like to remind you that to download the PDF for this lesson, you can start it over and see as many times as you want. And to apply to the, not apply, how do we call this? We call it, you can sign up for the Brazilian Guitar Workshop. Brazilian Guitar Workshop, you have all the information here. It's much more material. As I said, long PDF with many, many different patterns. A chord melody version of a song. And what else? Backing track to play, to have this feeling of playing with the bass and drums, a Brazilian bass player and Brazilian drummer. And also the loops, percussion loops that you can play along. It's very important to play along with percussion loops. So here, myself have just registered. So be welcome. I see you on May 18th. Great. Daniel, once you ask it, I have to answer you. My book in Russian, it was not legal. They did a illegal, non-authorized version. I have the book because I found the book on the web in the book in PDF in Russian, and the book is all there. Everything's the book, but I couldn't find my name on it, and it's in. Let me see if I find it here, and then I can show you. So, unfortunately, it was not a legal thing. They did only PDF, and they did in Russian. Let me check if I find this here. Books. Just a minute. I will find this and show you. I think it's important to show now once you ask it. But just a minute, Daniel. I will show this. Let me find it. Oh, where is this? Here it is. I don't know if you know Russian, maybe you can check if this is if my name is there. Check this out. I found this book on the internet. Where is it? Wait. And with CD included and everything. And it's exactly my book now. Online characteristics, everything. And then now it's, I can show you this in Italian. Let me show you this page in Italian, in any language. So this page there, it's exactly this one, right? And then let me take the Brazilian one. Wait. Italian one. Wait. Let me take the Italian one, which I think it's more, it's the layout is more the same. Yes. So this is this one. See, the same page, and then but this one is in, and then we go to the other page, and then it's this page here. See? And then the next page is this one here, and they did a little bit different, but it's the same. And this is, and also the musical example down here. How do they do? Like, it's exactly the same, right? But they did tablatures, but this is, so it's, my whole book is here, but it's illegal, unfortunately. There was no royalties involved. They just copied, pasted, and published it. And if someone knows my name here and can find my name in somewhere here I didn't find, maybe this is Nelson Faria? No. Or here? No. I don't see. Someone speaks. Well, I became very proud of this, because actually, well, if it was not interesting information, nobody would copy like this. Thanks, Jessica. So if it was not interesting, very interesting information, nobody would copy like that. But it's sad that people is like using someone else's work and publish it. Like, anyway, so please take a look in the description of this video. I guess there is a link for the workshop that will happen the day after tomorrow on May 18. I would love to see you there, okay? It will be much more profound, much more interesting, much more fun, and it will be 2 hours long. I will talk about Partido Alto, that Philip is saying here that it's always also played the wrong way. Partido Alto, there are actually two ways, the straight way and the inverted way, and sometimes you find both. But sometimes people really get confused with Partido Alto group. I will be talking about Partido Alto in the workshop. Okay, so I see you there. Looking forward to. Thank you very much for being here. And once more, I will just add here the QR code, so you can go directly there and let's see. Oh, it's the same size. Go directly there and sign up for the Brazilian Guitar Workshop. Okay, see you there. Great. Bye-bye. Thank you very much. I hope I helped a little bit, and I hope my English was not so bad. Thank you very much. Thanks everyone. Thanks everyone that have subscribed, and you can subscribe to the channel. You can sign up for the workshop, and we will be seeing each other more often. Okay. So have a good time. And if you're seeing this video tomorrow or any day before the May 18th, you can always sign up for the workshop. The link will be in the description. I see you then. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.